It is Pastor Mike here. I'm coming to you from the office here, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and share with you a New Testament takeaway from my reading this morning. I was reading in the book of First Peter, and I know if you're reading along with me that you're somewhere there too. And I come across this portion of scripture from First Peter chapter 2, verse 13. Here's what it says. It says, "Submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether it be to the king as supreme or unto governors as unto them that are sent by him, for the punishment of evildoers or for the praise of them that do well. For it is the will of God that with well doing you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men, as free, but not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servants of God. Honor all men, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king." And that verse stuck out to me today because I feel like there are a lot of things going on in our world today that we hear a lot of grumbling and complaining about. And this verse stuck out to me because it's very clear that what Scripture is inviting us to do is to submit to the ordinances of those who are over us, who rule over us. I think it's ironic this is coming from Peter, and Peter was kind of loud in his disagreement with things sometimes in the scripture. And of course, it's coming at a time when Rome ruled the world with a heavy fist. It wasn't as we live today. They didn't have the freedoms that we have today. But don't let the verse slip by you, because I still feel like there's a great truth here. We are in a time where a lot of people believe that the government is overreaching and are engaged in areas of our life where they might not need to be. Even as stringent as it is in our lives right now, it's probably still not as stringent as when these words were written. And so I thought that was interesting for me today. Just a reminder that we do have a responsibility to submit to those who are in authority over us. And it actually says we submit to those who are in authority over us as we do to the Lord. And I had thought about that. Part of our walk with the Lord is to submit to those who are in authority over us. And we do this for a couple of reasons, the scripture tells us. It says we do this, well, number one, we do it because those who are in positions of power over us see that we are good followers of the government. I think that it talks about receiving praise from them for those that do well. But it also talks about that we're putting to silence the foolishness of men. And that phraseology, I think, is just so important. Sometimes we have to be cautious there that our liberties as citizens of the United States of America are not greater than our responsibilities to follow the teaching of Scripture and to follow what God's asking us to do. And I believe that people are watching our faith. They're making decisions about our faith, whether they see us at work or whether they only see us online in the comments and things that we make there. They're looking at us and they're wondering whether or not we're going to be true to what the scripture is inviting us to do. And so my encouragement to you today is to take heart. God knows what's going on. And in submitting to those who have authority over it, and whatever it may be, we may not agree with everything, but the scripture is still clear that we submit to them. For this is the will of God. That's what it says. For so is the will of God. And I think that's powerful for us today, just to be mindful of that. Honor, it says, honor the king. We don't have a king, but we do have a president, and we have a president-elect. And so Scripture is clear on our response to them. So I think if we have a grievance with those who are in authority over us, the place to air that grievance is in our prayer times with the Lord. I think sometimes we're too quick to air them with those who are around us. And sometimes it cuts off an opportunity for us to share the message of Jesus with those who are, well, they're not living lives that are close to God at this time. And so we want to do our best to not put any barriers up to that as best we can. All right. So here's the thought: submit yourselves to every ordinance of man as unto the Lord. Honor the king. Those are straight out of the scripture from today for a takeaway from First Peter chapter 2, verses 13 through 17.